then you blew it.
That is the most absurd statement of the year.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, baby.
I'm in my zone, I'm feeling it.
Live from West St. Paul Studios, it's time for Minnesota Sports Live with DJ Matty C and Paul the Shield Vold.
And this is Minnesota Sports Live. We are back, yes. Episode 266, yes, 266 episodes. This is the New Year's Eve edition of Minnesota Sports Live. We have a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. I'm your host, DJ Matty C, a.k.a. Matt Callahan, a.k.a. Callie, a.k.a. Matty C, etc., 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 and all the way in Granite City Studios in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Paul Volt, the Shield. What's going on there, Shield?
Nothing can truly be a more humbling experience in this world than actually seeing and watching your 4-year-old look over you as you have your teeth being cleaned. Very humbling experience to have and to wrap up in 2025. But of course, as we do wrap up a new year, of course, we have to give a toast to 2025. Creative consultant, Mrs. Sarah Ann Tooze, off camera right now as we say cheers to 2025. New Year's. Cheers to you as well on another year.
Mm-hmm. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Claps.
There we go. Fantastic. All right, just had to get that out of the way.
Well, we're glad we could get that out of the way, and we wish all of you a happy New Year. We had a great year. I mean, we had a great year of the show. Obviously, you know the deal. Coming up will be our 6-year anniversary show. Yes, we celebrate every year because why the heck not? We had the big 5-year. Now we got 6, and we're working towards 10. 10 should be a good one here coming up at some point down the line. So, a lot happening in the sports world. We were off last week because of Christmas. Hopefully you guys had a great Christmas as well. I'll quick go through the rundown, then we got to go through a couple other things as well because we got to give out some congratulatory things as well. So, first things first, those Minnesota Vikings get the dub on Christmas Day. Yes, sir.
So great for that to happen.
Lions, out.
See ya.
So, we'll talk about that, the incredible game that they had, mainly defensively, I will say. But we'll get more into that. And not only did the Vikings win, but the Gophers win in OT against the newmexicolobos. Yes. They win, and Fleck is now undefeated. Still undefeated. There was never a doubt. Maybe a little bit. But still, they won. That's all that matters. So. We got a stacked table topics tonight. Looking forward to talking table topics with all of you. We got some good ones, good Minnesota sports ones and whatnot. And then we have our ARA. We got a lot to talk about. NCAA clarifying the eligibility stance. Big news in regards to that. We'll talk about it. Michigan hires a new coach. Whittingham is the new head coach there at the University of Michigan. And after that, we got Bryceharper commits to the U.S. for the World Baseball Classic. That's a big get, I would say, in my opinion. The Chiefs are going to move from Missouri to Kansas. A lot to be said there. Very controversial, apparently. And to round things off, the Pro Football Hall of Fame finalists have been named. One of them is a Minnesota Viking, yes. So we are feeling good about that. We will talk about that here in a minute. So, a couple things we got to get to. One, Pick'em. This is the last week. The last week for Pick'em. right now, you guys have to just do it right now. I mean, honestly, I don't see any problem with doing it right now. Get those in, get it done, and we'll see how it pans out. I'm bringing it up right now because we should probably look at who's leading, and I think it was Stuffage. I was right. There we go. Stuffage is leading the pack. He's got 1,700 points. Congrats out to Stuffage.
That's
leading the pack. RJ, not far behind, though. RJ is coming in close. He's only like one back. I mean, if Stuffage gets one wrong, he gets one right, he's in trouble. Now, there's a certain someone who is in third, and that being Paul the Shield Vold. Yes, he is third place, and he could sneak up. If they have a bad week, Voldy could come through. Just saying.
I threw a couple wild picks out there, and I'm currently regretting them, but we'll see what happens come kickoff this week.
You can change. I mean, that's the thing.
Certainly change all the way up until kickoff of those
That's
picks,
right. So make sure you get those in, and looks like there are some other people that are getting close up there, but you never know. I'll keep an eye on things. Just make sure to get your picks in because you could win a Minnesota bundle. I mean, who wouldn't want to win a Minnesota bundle is my thing. And also, congrats to Stuffage from not this week, but the week before, winning the week. He had 140 points. He was on fire that week. So he has chosen the black 5-year anniversary hat. So we'll be sending that off to him. And he might win the bundle too. So he's doing quite well for himself with his picks. So we got that, and then another thing to keep in mind too. There is something new that Voldy would like to share with the rest of you. So Voldy, why don't you take it away?
Well, very much like the hat that Matt has on here with our options when it comes to our selection of headwear, we added a few more pieces here, and they finally came in just a little over a week ago, and we have to have options, of course, when it comes to cheering on your Minnesota sports teams. Much like the one hat that Matt has on, we got this bad boy. That's right, we got alternate Minnesota Vikings. Yes, it is purple. It is not blue like the way the Vikings uniforms used to look on TV. A little purple and gold, MZ Sports Live. Let's follow that up with a team that is, well, unfortunately took a loss today, but still playing pretty well. How about a little Minnesota Timberwolves action? That's right. I went a little off the wall here with a little neon green and the navy blue combination for the MZ Sports Live hat. And then I also went, of course, you got to cheer on the team that will never do anything successful with the current ownership they have, Minnesota Twins colors, or you could twist it to your Granite City Lumberjacks. They're going to be playing on Hockey Day Minnesota here pretty soon as well. So got that to work with there, in the navy and the red. And of course, I had to represent a little bit as well. University of North Dakota Fighting Sioux colors right there. Yes, I said Fighting Sioux, not Fighting Hawks there. For Rattel, for Jimbo, a few other people I have in mind that definitely want this guy as well. So got those as some options. Again, we've got the 4 different kinds. We got the Vikings, we got the T-Wolves, we got the Twins or Lumberjacks, and of course UND. But lastly, of course, we are in the midst of winter. How about a couple of these as well? That's right. We got a couple more beanies available with the original logo right there for you at Minnesota Sports Live. I got 2 of these right now. One of them was spoken for. I had 3. They are down to 2. Yes, Case, what do you need?
I like it.
Do you like the hat, Case?
Yeah, stamp of approval.
The stamp of approval from my oldest. But yes, we got these available. You want to see how many options we have with hats? This is just a bag of all the options of just
holy guacamole, Batman.
Okay, like the last 5 or 6 are like duplicates, but this is what we've got. We've got options for you. And I don't understand why you wouldn't want to get in on any of these, because these are fantastic.
These hats are inevitable. I mean, as Thanos once said, and they look fantastic. So guys, let us know. Well, you know the deal, $20, $5 shipping. We've got all your favorite Minnesota sports teams and North Dakota as well. So make sure that you get that going, get those as soon as possible because they're going to sell like hotcakes.
Yes.
So make sure you get that done. Last thing, Voldy, we do our Minnesota fantasy football league, and we have a winner. We have a new winner, and that being Zach Huntley. Yes, congrats to Hunts. He got her done against Jack Vickers from the Brotherly Ballers podcast. Just came up a little short. Yeah, Bijan Robinson went off on Monday night against the Rams. How dare you, Rams? Why did you have to suck? People believed in you, and now your guys are just, I don't know. There's something wrong, apparently. But congrats to Hunts. He will be getting some Minnesota merch. And Jack.
We got options.
We got plenty of options. We got Jack's picked out his stuff, and Rick has picked out his sticker for getting third place. So congrats to everyone playing. We'll keep you posted because we'll probably do it next year if some people...
Shout out to a rec. We had a really good run there for the third place match there, and I really thought I was going to nail it down this year, finishing the top 3. But I think I finished, I can't remember if I finished 4th or 5th last year. I think I did about
you
the
did
same
pretty well.
You did pretty well. Now, for the college league that we're in, that's a different story. We won't
get into that. We don't need to know that. And if Munson's tuning in, I don't need to hear from him. So,
shout out.
Munson did win our SMSU one. So,
hey, better that than Coom, I guess. I don't know.
It's true.
Pick your poison, I guess.
Pick your poison. Yeah. Well, at least Cole is not a Packer fan, so we got that.
Yes,
for us.
I'll give it.
Anyway, a lot to talk about at the beginning here, but I think it's time to do some Tater Tot Hot Take. We got to talk Vikes. We got to talk Gophs. This is a big week. I feel like for Minnesota sports, so we gotta talk about it. So let's get it going with some Tater Tot Hot Take.
Fresh out of the oven, it's Tater Tot Hot Take.
It's hot, it's fresh, it's right out of the oven. In case you guys are wondering about the college football playoff, the game between I didn't say the Ohio State. See what I did there?
Thank you.
The universe. You got the U of Miami. And then you got Ohio State 0-0 to start the game. So we will keep an eye on it in case you guys are interested in taking a look and listening to that as well. But
we all know Joe Clements is watching that, head to toe, scarlet and gray. He's got his Modelo's with his Ohio State Frost Buddy and coffee mug that I got him years back. Even more Ohio State stuff he got for Secret Santa this year. But even if they win, he'll still find a way to be pissed off about it. But here we are nonetheless.
Yeah, and don't blame him. Don't blame him. So, anywho, those Minnesota Vikings, they get the victory over the Detroit Lions. They kicked them out of the playoffs. Yes, how about that? The Vikings, 23. Lions 10, and just to say, it was. Let's put it like this: it was abysmal offensively, but it was awesome defensively. The Minnesota Vikings. Let's start with the defense. They deserve all the credit in the world for what they did against the Lions. Our guy Voldy, Andrew Van Ginkel was on fire. He was on fire. 1.5 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, and he had 5 tackles as well. Not only that, but there is a man by the name of Harrison Smith. Dirty Harry, Harry the Hitman, was amazing. He was amazing. He had a sack. He had a sack. He had a interception. He was all over the field. Jared Goff didn't know what hit him. He was everywhere. Harrison Smith was amazing. And not only Harrison Smith, Dallas Turner played great. He had half a sack. Blake Cashman, 17 tackles what he had as well. And he had a sack, too, to add on to that. The Vikings made life miserable for the Lions. And to be quite honest, we didn't see it coming, to be honest with you. Be that dominant on defense. But, again, believe in B-Flow. Believe in B-Flow. That's our guy. Jalen Redmond also had a fumble recovery. And Byron Murphy Jr., fumble recovery and an interception. So, shouts out to the defense. They get all the credit in the world. And we got to give props out to that. All right, let's quick go to the
turnovers, man. 6 turnovers.
6.
Crazy.
6. It's insane.
Awesome.
Believe in B-Flow. That's what you got to believe. You got to believe in B-Flow.
Please don't leave.
Yeah, we'll talk about B-Flow here in a second. Let's look at the offense. So, Max Brosmer, I think we can put this talk to bed. Max Brosmer, I think we've seen enough the rest of the season. Not saying that he can't do well down the in his career. He's still very early on, but it's quite apparent we can't have that happen. 7 sacks against the Lions. That he took only 51 yards. He did have a key throw to Justin Jefferson to pretty much ice the game there. But Jordan Addison, 1 carry, 65 yards and a tutty. He was on fire. He took the end around and he was gone, Voldy. I couldn't believe it. He was just racing down the sidelines. That's what we want to see, those big plays. Aaron Jones played pretty well, 18 carries, 53 yards, and a tud. So we're sitting pretty there as well. So the Minnesota Vikings were fantastic tonight, or on Christmas Day. Voldy, your thoughts on those Minnesota Vikings on Christmas Day? What do you got?
Going into it, you didn't have a lot of high expectations for Max Brosmer, just off of the last performance that he had against Seattle. But given what he had to work with, and of course the matchup that the Lions were presenting, you just said to yourself, don't turn over the football. Maybe we got a chance. That's exactly what Max Brosmer did. He did not turn over the football. A net of 3 yards passing, 7 sacks, not great. Patchwork offensive line overall. He didn't turn over the football. That was the big thing right off the bat. Had to get a little bit gadgety down the stretch here to at least get some points on the board, but defense did their part. That's for sure. Of course, with the 6 turnovers, setting up the offense in plus position, getting great kicks from Will Reichert as well. A little bit more we see out of the hands of Justin Jefferson. I know that they were gunning for him to get the ball one way or another, whether it be out of the backfield on some end arounds or just even getting some catches. But the fact that the Vikings defense really had, I hate to say at this point of the season, a real coming out party after a couple of weeks where it's been, all right, the defense is going to have to carry us, but they're just out on the field so long that they can't really do much of anything. Even though, let's talk about the other thing. There's 4 wins in a row. That's 4 wins in a row. We got a chance to be above 500 after an abysmal midpoint of the season. That's great to see. Even with JJ still, I haven't seen or heard official word of whether he's going to play or not. The hairline fracture, kind of iffy. If he hurts it again, it'll probably be a full fracture on top of it. Are we going to get Brosmer? I know a lot of teams are going to be phoning it in here this week on Saturday and Sunday. But looking at this past week, I think the defense played their best game out of the season for sure, with the 6 turnovers, getting 5 sacks, and just straight up frustrating the offense of Detroit, because coming into it that they had to shut down the run and shut out Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, they had some drives, I will certainly say, especially the one right before halftime with Tesla getting the touchdown to tie things up. But then the second half, it was just all Minnesota from that point. and just capitalizing on the turnovers. And that's what you want to see out of your team, is when the defense gets turnovers, that they use it to their advantage, and that's what the Vikings did. So great to see 4 wins in a row. Sweeping Detroit as well. Let's talk about that, because coming into the year, everybody had Detroit locked in as the division winner.
Yeah, and we'll have to talk to Mikey, because I know Mikey Lawrence probably has some thoughts on this whole thing. So we'll see what happens in regards to that. But Voldy, I want to throw this to you real quick. The Vikings, for the first time since November 1975, 6 takeaways, no turnovers. That was the first time they've done that since 1975. That was at the old Met, and they beat the Atlanta Falcons there 38-0. So that was a lashing, that's for sure. But that's something to be proud about. Obviously, Harrison Smith was fantastic, like we talked about. Just kind of shows that this team has the mental makeup to overcome these obstacles. They didn't have anything to play for. They didn't owe anybody anything. But you know what? They went out. They played. People showed up all in white. Harrison Smith talked about it in his with the reporters. He said, it doesn't matter. We're not going to the playoffs or anything like that. But
right.
People are showing up anyway. People love this team. And the one thing that he said too is like, these fans have never experienced a Super Bowl, but they will at some point. And I hope so. Because I need to, for sure. But it was just awesome to see. I mean, they dominated. I mean, Gink times 11, I feel like.
Yeah.
And Jalen Redmond just making all these plays that you don't really see in the stat sheet, but when you see him play, he's a problem, and teams are having trouble blocking him. And they shut down Jahmyr Gibbs. He only had 41 yards. Montgomery only had 25, and they held Amon-Ra to only 68 yards on 8 receptions. So this comes down to the scheme and how they deal with Brian Flores. These past 3 years have been awesome with B-Flow. And, now that there's been some interest from Dallas and some other teams as well about, getting him as a head coach. And, we all have that question as well. Myself, Voldy, and a lot of Vikings fans right now. The defensive coordinator job is something that you don't take lightly, and he has done amazing things with this defense. I couldn't be more proud of the Vikings and what they did with B-Flow. And B-Flow, we got to give a lot of credit to, and he has showed what it means to really put together a defense. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight, right? And they've done everything in their power to make sure that, he would stay here. Now, the big question for the Vikings right now is, in fact, can they retain him? Now, I don't think Brian Flores, and I know Florio, our favorite guy, Mike Florio, saying that, the Cowboys are going to do whatever it takes to get him on as D coordinator, because Eberflus has been a terrible D coordinator for the Cowboys. They're a terrible defense. Yep. And it just came down to, it's going to come down to, does he want money? Does he want this? He's not going to go there to take a D coordinator job. He's going to take a head coaching job. That's what's going to happen. There's no, he's going to leave for another team to be D coordinator. No, he wants to be here. He even said in his, press, he loves it here in Minnesota and everything like that. I'm not saying he's going to stay forever, because there's no way. He wants to be a head coach somewhere under the right circumstance. That's how I look at it with this whole B-Flow conversation. But I'm just curious what the zoners think too, and if you guys think that B-Flow will stay in Minnesota for I would say probably one more year, especially of what they've done defensively and whatnot. So I'm going to say B-Flow one more year. Voldy, zoners, what do you think? B-Flow one more year?
Yeah, I definitely see one more year. A lot of head coaching openings right now are not really sure. I mean, we'll see what comes out of it after this week. And of course, Black Monday, as they call it, with all the head coaching firings that they do have. See what's going to be the right situation, because it really all comes down to, okay, what do we have? What's the situation? What's the ownership? What's the GM situation? Because if it's going to be an owner and GM that are established and they're looking for a coach, or is it going to be an owner is looking for a GM to hire a coach on top of it? It's going to be a tough situation overall. So I definitely see a few opportunities that could potentially be, but I think for B-Flow, sticking through one more year just to see what comes out of it and what the coaching situation could be, because there are some coaching staffs right now that could be in jeopardy with games on Sunday, and some that have been, that could potentially be solidified with either a win, or they're just going to, cut all their losses and just get rid of the staff that is coming up after this week of games for sure. There's a few teams out there that could make that move, but nothing that we can really say as of right now that warrant a move for B-Flow to get back in the league, unless he's still blacklisted too, like he was reported. Earlier this year.
Well, I still think that investigation and however that's been going is still kind of on, and I think that's why people are hesitant. But he did take interviews last year, so
he did. Yes, he did.
That's more of a positive sign. But after what you saw on Christmas Day, I think a lot of people would say, why isn't he a head coach yet? That's kind of the big thing. But I think, it just makes sense. I think the guys really love him as a coach, and he's done great things. And, I don't think he's going to go to, if they fire Stefanski in Cleveland, I don't think there's any way in hell that he would want to go to Cleveland right now. I mean, that is just not a great place to be with their current situation as well. And the owner there isn't great either. So if you thought the Miami guy was bad, well, the guy in Cleveland is probably worse. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think they're going to play well against Green Bay. I mean, Green Bay is going to be resting a lot of their starters. I mean, they've lost a lot of guys. Jacobs has been dealing with an injury. I think Wilson has been dealing with injury. Christian Watson. They lost Micah, like we said before, as well. So I think we'll get Malik Willis this week, and they'll hold out Jordan Love for next in the playoffs. So they might be playing the Bears and or Eagles. So it's going to be a uphill battle for them. So let's talk about this game. I want to highlight one thing and one thing only, and this is or offensively, I should say, because there's a couple things I do want to quick talk about too. But before we get to that, Nick, our guy Nick Dahlhoff, tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, Nick. If it becomes a money issue as far as keeping him, I would personally take it out of my own savings and add to whatever fundraising effort just to keep him in Minnesota. I love it. I mean, listen, as long as the Cowboys don't just give him this big old thing of cash and say, fix our defense or something like that. But I don't think he would want to be a D. Like I said, I don't think he wants to be a D coordinator anywhere else. I don't. Right. I mean, he wants to be a head coach, and as he should be, because he's that good. So yeah, Nick, I'll add to that fund too. I mean, why the heck not? So we'll have that going for us too. Let's quick look at this game with Justin Jefferson. He is very close to eclipsing
53 yards.
53 yards. So 53 is the big number. I think he can get there, but it depends on J.J. McCarthy's health status going into this game. J.J. McCarthy was limited in practice today, I should say. I was going to say this week, but anyway. He was limited today. He was throwing the ball around. Didn't look like he was grimacing or anything like that based on what I could tell from video. So that's good. I mean, it seems to me like things are heading in a good direction because we want to see him play nonetheless. But the question I asked to the zoners and, obviously to you, Voldy, and I think I know the answer to this, but I just want to be, I want to be fair here too because I think J.J. McCarthy's going to play. And I think Justin Jefferson's going to get 1,000 yards. So that's what I think. Voldy, what do you think? Will Justin Jefferson, Jettas, hit 1,000? What do you got?
Yeah, I think it really all comes down to the health of J.J. McCarthy. It really helps that the Vikings play on Sunday as opposed to Saturday this week. So that'll be a big factor, just that extra 24 hours of rest and hopefully just, keeping him fresh enough for hopefully we'll find out Friday, if not Saturday, he will be getting the start. And if he doesn't, it doesn't look good for, for Jefferson to get that 1,000 yards, just 53 yards away. But I would certainly hope that they do make him a focal point enough to play and at least get that number for sure. Because it's not about the numbers. It's about, finishing the year off on a high note for sure. Because I definitely know in that game last week for sure that they were trying their hardest to get Jefferson the ball and at least get him to work because, he has definitely been underutilized for sure in the back half of the season, just based off all the injuries and, of course, matchups too. But I also find it interesting, of course, seeing, with the Cowboys letting go Trevon Diggs, and now he gets picked up by the Packers if he's going to play on Sunday or not, or at least get in the flow enough to at least maybe get some snaps here in, against the Vikings here this week.
Well, the main thing I think for this is if Rosemer's in there, I mean, I don't want to say it's completely off the table that he won't be getting 1,000 yards because I think he still has a chance to. Right. The question is, can he get him the ball? And based off of what we saw against Detroit, yay! It was struggling, but he had 4 receptions. I mean, I know the yards weren't much, but he had a key catch to win that game too. So, I don't want to say that Rosemer won't be able to do it. He didn't turn over. I mean, he was just like, just don't turn over the ball. Just be smart, and he was for most of it. But the sacks probably not. Anyway, besides that. Yeah, I think Justin's going to get it if JJ plays. And I think JJ will, just based off of what I've been hearing and whatnot. So the Vikings will end things off with a winning record, which is great. We're happy about that. But a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions going into this offseason. We'll be doing a recap of the Vikings season maybe next week with Mikey Ryan. We'll keep you up to date on that. But, there's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be said with this Minnesota Vikings team. So let's win the border battle. Let's not get swept by the Packers and against their third and fourth stringers, please. Thanks.
That'd be great. Get a win against every divisional opponent on the season.
Yeah.
Finish in third place. I'll take it.
I think if the Vikings could have figured it out against the Bears on that kick return, we'd be talking about us fighting for a playoff spot.
No, we'd be fighting for a wild card spot right now. Yeah.
And I'd like our chances, I will say.
All we need to do was not kick it to their return guy. And what do? Kick it to their return guy.
Damn it. That's all I can say.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. All right, let's talk about another Minnesota team that did quite well the day after Christmas, that being those Minnesota Golden Gophers, roll the boat, Skyuma, go Gophers. And the Gophs win 20-17, and they win in OT. The Lobos kicked a field goal that put them up 17-14, and the Gophs said, nah, fam, I'm just going to go in and just score myself. And they did. Drake Lindsay with an absolute strike into the end zone over to Jalen Smith. That was absolutely a dart from Drake Lindsay. I love that Drake Lindsay is playing so well with the Golden Gophers, and I think he's going to be a great quarterback here for the Gophs. And Jalen Smith's only a freshman as well, so for two freshmen to get that game-winning touchdown for the Gophs is big, and it's just great to know that the Gophs are. Things are trending a little bit upward. I don't want to say that they're going to be in the college football playoff next year or anything like that, but Fleck, his bowl record is undefeated. He's doing great things. But Voldy, what are your thoughts on this game and the Gophers going forward here?
Yeah, this one was definitely an interesting one. I didn't get to watch much of it. I got to see
Right.
the end of it, overtime and everything, but from listening and tuning into the game on the radio, there were a lot of missed chances for both teams, especially, and just a little lackadaisical play for sure on both sides. But this was another game where defense was going to have to win this contest, and that's what the Gopher defense did. I mean, Baranowski, 17 tackles, and the next closest guy has 7, and he goes along with a sack and a tackle for loss on top of it. I mean, this was a one-man wrecking crew on the defensive side to at least, give enough frustration to New Mexico. Did roll with that 2-quarterback system a little bit of run and gun. Jack Lane was more of the passer than, Lobstein a little bit more of the, get a little bit on the footwork going for sure. But, I mean, you did just about everything that you could. Very, efficient on offense with the quarterback. And Lindsay, 18 for 28, 2 touchdowns. Darius Taylor, 116 yards on the ground and making plays when they need to. Of course, Jalen Smith, 2 touchdowns in the contest, and including that game winner. I mean, that was great to see just how the youth really stepped up in this contest. And, of course, you see with, these young guys stepping up, we just hope that they can stick around long enough in the maroon and gold to make enough of an impact for the Gophers now, because of the fact that you throw that 8-5 in a Gopher uniform for Drake Lindsay. Hopefully, portal wise, that'll keep him available for them for next year. But it's tough to keep a quarterback nowadays, and hopefully we can see that continue on in the next season. But I thought this was a good enough game. A little bit dicey towards the end there because I thought maybe New Mexico is going to find a way to sneak one out. But glad to see that the Gophers can remain undefeated in bowl games with PJ Fleck.
Yep, and I think a big thing too. Darius Taylor, 24 carries, 116 yards, ton. That's what you want to see, and I think the big news out of this too is that Anthony Smith will be returning back to the Gophers as well, so that's big. He's a hell of a player, man. Him coming back is huge for the Gophs, and I think they're going to be pretty good next year, Voldy. I think honestly, they're going to be a pretty good team going into this upcoming season. But I think for the future of the program, I know there's a lot of Fleck people or a lot of Fleck haters and everything like that. But you know what? I mean, it's just like he's doing everything that. He's only getting the Gophers so far, but guess what? He's winning the bowl games. If he wasn't winning the bowl games, no one would care. I mean, they'd say, "All right, well, he needs to go." He's winning those games, so I think looking at the grand scheme of things, he's the right guy for the job here. I mean, he's gone longer than most Golden Gopher head coaches and everything like that. But, he just hasn't found the right quarterback. And I think you're finding that right now with Drake Lindsay. Hey, sky's the limit. You never know what can happen in college football. So I like the way things are going for the Gophs, and I think they're going to be pretty good next year. They dealt with some things. Coy Parrish is still a monster as well. I'm just telling you, he just lives and breathes. I think he's probably going to be a Viking. Some part of me thinks like they're going to find the heir apparent to Harry the Hitman. So we will keep an eye on that too. So the Gophs end the season on a good note. Hopefully the Vikings can do the same here. So we will keep you up to date on that. And Gopher basketball has already started. They're doing okay. Nico Medved getting stuff ready for this upcoming year, too, for the Gophs. So, yeah, a lot happening. So, let's get it going. We got table topics to go through tonight. There are a lot of good ones, I would say, for you here tonight, Voldy. I think these might be tough, but we shall see. Maybe they're too easy. I don't know. It depends on
Got a fresh
how
batch of table topics as well.
Speaking of which, you know what? After we do the intro, I will reveal that. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So let's get to the table. Let's do some. If I can find the thing here, there it is. It's time for some table topics.
The tables have been set. It's time for Minnesota's Table Topics.
All right, it's time for those table topics, but before we get to that, Voldy teased it. I wasn't expecting to get certain things at Christmas, and I thought, we were set with our table topics. We got the new ones from Mama Callahan. Was it 2 years or 1 year ago? Whenever it was. And we thank her for that. But apparently Mama Callahan was just thinking of the show, and like she always does, she's doing what mothers do and making sure that we have everything. So we do have new table topics. It is Minnesota against the world. Yes. You know what? Now that I think of it, Voldy, you know what would be better? Minnesota against the national sports media.
Bingo.
That's a heavyweight matchup right there. So yes, we do have that, and I don't have the other one by me. I thought I did, but there is also more of a sports trivia, which I got from my cousin's girlfriend, who we will use as well. So hey, we got plenty of table topics now, so many. And, we thank them for thinking of us on that. So shouts out to them. Tonight's table topics, we'll probably be going through most of the Minnesota sports guys. So let's start with the first one here. There are a couple of hockey ones that I knew you probably were going to get. So we won't go that far yet. But let's go Minnesota Vikings, since those Minnesota Vikings got the W here on Christmas Day, and they play on Sunday at noon, which is nice. The first question, and zoners, feel free to chime in too. What 343-pound offensive guard started 134 games for the Vikings from 1995 to 2004. Now, before Voldy answers, we'll give Voldy a second to kind of think about it and give you zoners time to think about it as well. I could see people hopping on the Google machine and putting that in there. But let's do it one more time just so people know it. What 343-pound offensive guard started 134 games for the Vikings from 1995 to 2004. Voldy, zoners, what do you got?
I got one answer came to mind right away, and I can't remember if he did play guard or not, because it's a little bit before my football watching time. But the timeline does, in my mind, seem to match up. Is there Randall McDaniel?
Well, that's a really good guess, but
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it is a really good guess. I mean, that's what I would think.
I can't remember what position McDaniel played. Was he a tackle?
He was a guard. Yeah, Randall McDaniel was a guard. So you're on the right. You're on the right.
I was on the right track. Just the timeline the math was not mathing.
Right.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if I can give more
95 to 04. Jeez.
95 to 04. So he was part of the 98 team, which went to the NFC Championship. And he was a key part. They had a great offensive line. One of the best offenses you'll ever see as well. I mean, it's obviously not Hutchinson because he didn't show up
Yeah, I was
until
going to say Hutch was because he was on the Seahawks.
2006.
Yeah, and he was on the Seahawks for a little bit too beforehand.
So I'll give you a quick hint. It starts with a D. His first name starts with a D, and his last name starts with a D. If that's any help.
Jeez. I'm probably going to know it as soon as you say it. I have no idea off the top of my head.
All right. Well, here is your answer.
Okay.
Do you remember David Dixon? David Dixon for the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, David Dixon played for the...
Spelled Dixon?
Yep, Dixon. Yep.
It's like my brother.
There you go. So he was good. I remember watching, some games. He was a really good, I wouldn't say he's Randall McDaniel-esque, but he was very serviceable. I mean, if you're playing for the Vikings from 95 to 2004, that is a pretty darn good career to say the least. So, David Dixon, just for fun, because you'll probably get this right away here. But what this one's kind of more for you. What Elk River native and 2000 Mr. Hockey winner joined the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2010 after 5 NHL seasons with the team that drafted him, the New Jersey Devils?
Oh boy, Elk River.
He was Mr. Hockey year 2000.
Oh boy. Okay. And he joined Pittsburgh after playing in
New Jersey, the Devils. Yep.
Okay. What year did he join Pittsburgh again? What was the
2010. Yep, 2010.
Oh, is that Paul Martin?
Yeah, nice, very nice. That was perfect.
Went out of my ass. Holy
hell. That was perfect. You had it hit it right on the nose. So Paul Martin, and then here's another one real quick. What Gopher center and Blaine native did the Florida Panthers select 19th overall in the 2010 NHL entry draft?
Florida Panthers. He went to Blaine, you said?
Yes, Blaine native, correct. He was a Gopher center.
Yep, Gopher center. Nick Bukestad, I believe it is.
That is correct. Yes. See, I knew you were going to know those, and I just that's because I was
digging
like,
my bag a little bit,
Yeah, but hey, the Paul Martin thing was giving you a little, and then you're like, hey, that's Paul Martin. So
I just threw a guess out there. Actually, I know a guy who's his cousin, so yeah.
Hey, perfect. We're good. All right, let's get back to some more here. We got, we've got a couple good. That I don't know. I'm looking at this. I'm like, maybe this isn't what I. No, this. Okay, I did want this one. Yes. Okay, never mind. Our guy who recently is back with the Timberwolves, Kevin Garnett. He was named National High School Player of the Year in his senior year. At what Chicago high school? So KG, at what Chicago high school did KG play at before joining the Minnesota Timberwolves after his senior year? Skipping college, going right to the pros.
Back when you could do that.
Yeah, back when you could do that. That's right. So, I think Voldy knows this. So just by looking at you, I think you know this. So, Voldy, go ahead.
Only reason why every once in a while it comes up when KG's first return back to Minnesota when he was back in a T-Wolves uniform. And actually the other day I actually saw Game 7 intro, Eastern Conference Finals 2008 Celtics Cavaliers out of Farragut Academy in Chicago, Illinois. 6'7", or he might be actually 6'9". I don't know. Either way,
whatever.
Kevin Garnett. So
yes. So the official name of the high school is Farragut Career Academy, but Potato. You had it right, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, no, that's where that's the high school that he was at, and he was very. I mean, he was awesome. I mean, he pretty much led that team, and obviously he goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves and he does the same thing. So we give our congrats to Kevin Garnett, obviously rejoining the Wolves officially. Now that that idiot Glenn is gone, so that's good news. And A-Rod and Laurie are already mending that fence, and he'll have his number retired at some point here. I don't know if it's this. I think it might be next. Or 2 seasons from now?
Yeah, it's got to be a little bit further down the road because you feel like you'd be rushing it if you did it this year.
Yeah, it might be rushing.
Give the man his flowers a little bit more. So
yeah, and he'll he's gonna be great, especially in his role as well. So they're gonna turn around. I mean, honestly, I think this franchise is gonna turn around a little bit. All right, let's do our last one here for the night. That one I knew that you'd probably get just because, KG got her going there as well. But this one I think might jog your memory a little bit.
Okay.
But what was the name of the Arena Football League team that played one season in 1996 at the Target Center? There was an arena football. Voldy, you've said this a couple of times now on this show. When the Minnesota team that was an Arena Football League team played only one season at the Target Center in 1996. Voldy, can you tell the zoners what that team name was?
Oh boy. Because I know we brought this up in the past. It's popped up on the old socials medias.
That's right.
Now I'm just trying to remember the name because I knew it was some sort of fish. I can't remember.
I was gonna say I was gonna give you a I was gonna give you.
I know that they're a fish. I can't remember if they're the muskies or the fighting pike or something like that. I know if I go on my phone right now, I could pull up a picture and it would tell me the answer.
So where are you leaning?
Minnesota fighting pike just doesn't really roll off the tongue that well. I'm going to go with the fighting pike. I think that's going to be my choice.
Well, that's a good guess because that is correct. Okay. Yes, that is correct. The Minnesota Fighting Pike. They only played one season. I don't even have the records for that. But I don't know. It's I'll have to look it up. I think you sent me the I feel like you sent me the jerseys that they had and everything like that.
Yeah, because one of my old teachers has some memorabilia from that one year or whatever, and I believe what was that one stud quarterback back in the day from SMSU? Lutzen or something like that?
Oh, yes.
Jeff Lutzen, something like that.
If I had Professor Brent Jeffers,
Jeffers was here.
He would tell me, right? And I actually interviewed him about, and he brought him up before. I think you're in the right. You're in the right.
Something like that. I'll look it up here between segments.
Yeah. So. We'll take a look and double check here. But yeah, the Minnesota Fighting Pike. If I could find a jersey for that, that'd be great. Just to throw it on, throwback and everything like that. But let's do a bonus one. How about we do a bonus one, huh? Let's do it. Let's take a look at this one. This one actually involves Kevin Garnett again, but I think this is a good one to do. Beginning in 1996 and 1997, how many consecutive seasons did the Kevin Garnett-led Timberwolves earn a playoff berth? So how many times through that period of time, or not that specific, like beginning in 96, 97, how many consecutive seasons did Kevin Garnett lead the Timberwolves to earn a playoff berth in all those seasons? So I asked that of you, Voldy, and the Zoners. Feel free to throw that in as well. So one last time, beginning in 96 and 97, how many consecutive seasons did the Kevin Garnett-led Timberwolves earn a playoff spot, or earn a playoff berth? Voldy, what do you got?
I mean, I feel like the KG era in Minnesota was a lot shorter than people probably think it was. It was a decent chunk of time.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to bring up, like the early years and the struggles along with that.
Yeah. Rebuilding, yeah.
Right, rebuilding, and then just, incompetency in the ownership group.
That's right.
I would probably say, I'm going to throw out a number because I don't, that time frame years as well with KG, not really my strongest in memory. I'm going to say seven consecutive years of a playoff berth.
Oh, that's a good guess, but no.
I hit the under, didn't I?
But you were close. You were off by one.
Oh, of course I was.
It was 8, yes. So 8 seasons. I didn't realize that when I'm reading this. I'm like, wow, he did. And that's crazy in itself because, there weren't a lot of big names until they got the Cassell, Sprewell, and everything like that. But, that's how influential KG was. He was the Minnesota Timberwolves. And it's insane to me how good he was. So, but, yeah, just wanted to do that, too. So that'll do it.
I got it here. I got it. Jeff Lutz.
Yes, that's right. Yes,
and then
thank you.
fellow Southwest teammate Alvin Ashley.
That's right. Yes, Alvin Ashley. Yes, Jeff
And
Lutz.
in that one season with the Fighting Pike, you know who the kicker was?
Oh, I don't know. Who was it?
Mike Vanderjagt.
Whoa! No way. That is amazing. Mike Vanderjagt. He used to kick for the Colts. And when they were really good with Manning and everything like that, Tony Dungy was with them too. Oh, my God. That's awesome. That is so cool. I did not know that. That is good to know.
Yeah.
So, go Fighting Pike. Maybe they can come back. Who knows? We'll see.
Well, they already tried with one other arena team, and the league folded after 2 games.
Yeah. Boo.
Football is awesome. I just wish it'd be more popular,
Yeah. Kurt Warner, he did it.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's
Team
some guys that...
down in Sioux Falls has a really good team. They were always in, the Arena Bowl years and years after, but we're getting off topic here.
Anyway, but that'll do it for Table Topics. This go around, that was fun to get some of these and whatnot. And, we'll do it sometime soon here in the future. So, ARA, this week we got a plethora of good ones, especially NCAA clarifying their eligibility stance. There's been some controversy over that. We'll talk about it. Michigan finally hires their next head coach with Whittingham coming from, I think it was Utah, wasn't it, right?
Correct, yeah.
And he will be the Wolverines head coach. Bryceharper is joining the Team USA for the World Baseball Classic, a big get for the USA. And the Chiefs, they are moving to Kansas, not Missouri anymore, but Kansas in 2031. A lot of controversy there. Then the Pro Football Hall of Fame finalists have been named. One of them is a Viking. We got to talk about that for sure. So let's get it going. What's up? Absurd or approved?
It's time for everyone's favorite segment, Absurd or Approved.
All right, it's time for Absurd or Approved. So, Voldy, why don't you rattle them off for us, please?
Well, we head to the world of college athletics. Now, normally we talk like college football, college basketball, a specific sport, but now we're getting to a point here where professional athletes, or maybe those that were professional, are trying to turn back the clock to return to the game of college basketball. Now, the NCAA has stepped in and clarified that the NCAA's position on college eligibility for players that do have current NBA experience. Now, the latest one is coming up in the wake of the University of Baylor, or Baylor University, signing former 31st pick in the 2023 NBA draft, James Nagy, to the program amid, of course, he was a centerpiece of a trade with, of course, it has Minnesota ties to it, with Karl Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks, and also recent reports coming out that current NBA player Trenton Flowers is pursuing college eligibility. Now, NCAA President make that Charlie Baker. I know it used to be Mark Emmers or something like that years ago, but Charlie Baker, the current president of the NCAA, did quote and put out saying that the NCAA has not and will not grant eligibility to any prospective or returning student athletes who have signed an NBA contract, including a two-way contract. Now, the career for, say, James Nagy has not been very prolific. Of course, he was a first-round pick, the 31st pick in the draft, and played in the Summer League and was involved in the October 2024 trade that sent Karl Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks, but has never played an NBA game in the past 5 years, and spent the last 5 years in the FC Barcelona organization, which is part of the EuroLeague, not officially a part of the NBA or signing an official contract in that regard. So basically, now it's opening up the door here for former professional athletes to at least those that have gone through the college ranks, or at least the college age or the traditional college athlete ranks, to go professional and thus return back to college sports, which are seeing grown men now coming back to play college sports against possibly even kids that are coming out of high school or junior college and trying to make it into the higher levels of college athletics. Now, of course, there's been a few outspoken individuals, including Michigan State University basketball coach and the people's coach, if you will, a very popular coach in Tom Izzo, saying that he voiced his disappointment in signing of James Nagy, and of course, thus slashing the importance of not only recruiting, other college players from, say, the transfer portal, or even high school players as well, to come to a program that sustains success, such as Michigan State. Now, with all that being thrown into the mix here, with, of course, these players that have foregone, or at least have played internationally, to go to the NBA ranks, or at least hope to go professional, is it absurd or approved? Should athletes who have been in the pros, whether been internationally or maybe even playing in the G League or the Summer League, if you will, be granted college eligibility? Is that absurd or approved?
Well, this just proves how bad the NCAA is. And the fact that you have multiple respected head coaches in, basketball calling them out on them not having early rules about this whole eligibility thing.
Right.
And I'm siding with those. I'm siding with Izzo. I'm siding with Calipari. And Calipari said something that I think I would agree with too. Is it's real simple. The rules are the rules. Be the rules. So if you put your name in, he didn't say it, but the NBA draft. I don't care if you're from Russia and you stay in the draft. You can play college basketball. I agree with him. And then Mark Few, another respected coach from the Zags. It's wild out there right now. We really don't have an organizational or any real rules right now. I think guys are just trying to do whatever they can. Until there's a rule that says you can't do it, it's hard to blame anybody for doing what they're doing. Our lack of leadership has really shown. This is exactly what I'm saying, is that the NCAA really doesn't know how to go about certain things. And it's their fault because, there have been many issues that have happened throughout these just few years. The college football playoff, there's issues there. The eligibility, the power conferences, it is ridiculous to me how just inept the leadership is with the NCAA. Now, I think the Baylor coach, I think it was Scott Drew. He says, we don't make the rules, but until they say we can't, we're going to do it. And it's like, well, he does have a point too. He's like, well, tell us we can't, and then we'll go from there. I don't think. I honestly, think that he shouldn't have done that. But you know what? It's kind of putting the NCAA in a tough position, and as they should be, because they're just, they're a joke. I mean, they're honestly a joke. And should athletes who have been in the pros be granted college eligibility? Well, this is how I'm going to say. I say no. If they're playing in the G League, they made the choice to go to the NBA and work on their fundamentals in the G League and then move themselves up. You can't just be like, it's not really working. I'm going to go back to college and play. It's ridiculous. No one ever does that, So, I think it's absurd. I agree with all those. I agree with Calipari and Izzo and Few. It's ridiculous, in my opinion. So, absurd. Voldy, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we have to take a firm stance of where we are now with college sports. I mean, it just continues to get more and more crazy with each year that's gone by ever since the NIL, the opening of the transfer portal. And now you have this where you have sometimes grown men who have played professional sports for a number of years, or at least when it comes to, professional sports in the sense of professional basketball, to return to college basketball. I think there needs to be a hard line drawn in the sand, because it's getting to the point now where I wouldn't be surprised in a few years if even recruiting for high school athletes is null and void, and basically like, you want to play, major Division I college basketball, well, you're going to have to go to JUCO first before we even take a look at you. We don't take high school kids anymore. You gotta go to a different college. You gotta go to a D2, D3 school. Then maybe you can transfer in as a walk-on next year or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes that route, but I just see right now, nowadays, major college coaches are just scratching their heads and just being like, what do we got to do? What is next? Now, I definitely understand why Nick Saban got out of college football while he still could, and I don't see how any respected college basketball coach now at this point is like, I don't know how much longer I keep doing this. It just continues to get crazier and crazier. No, I don't think athletes that have gone professional should have the chance to go back to college. You had your chance, and well, frankly, you blew it in that point, and now you have to live with those repercussions and try to find your way into the league one way or another.
Yeah, and, I think Lucas brings up a good point here, too, is, I can't imagine being a college coach with all this. It's just awful. And, Lucas is a coach, too, and, he, if he had to deal with that in college, or anything like that, obviously, I think he's high school, if I'm not mistaken. But, I mean, with all this going on, I mean, it sets this weird deal with the college athletics, and I mean, NCAA is just a joke. I mean, we all agree. It's just they don't know what the hell they're doing, and it's sad, because you got to get people that actually, want to, keep people happy, fans and players and everything like that. So, not good, Bob. Next one, Voldy.
Well, staying in the world of college athletics, but heading over to the college football side after a tumultuous offseason that it has been, at least in the early goings, for the University of Michigan football program. They found their next head coach, that being longtime University of Utah Utes head coach Kylewhittingham signed a 5-year deal to be the next head football coach for the Maize and Blue, as he has already hit the ground running and, of course, joined the Wolverines down in Florida today as a member of the coaching staff as the Wolverines took on the University of Texas in the Citrus Bowl. Whittingham, age 66, spent pretty much his majority of his head football coaching career with the Utah Utes, a number of notable seasons and wins for him under the Utes helm there for sure. But of course, Whittingham's deal averaging about over $8 million a year over those 5 years as well. Now stepping into a new role with a major program with the University of Michigan for Kyle Whittingham. Of course, he is a winning coach, but now taking it just to that next step with Whittingham and the University of Michigan. Is it absurd or approved? Will Michigan have a winning record in the 2026 season with Kylewhittingham as their head coach?
Well, with everything that went on with Sharon Moore, it just got to a point where it's like, what's going on behind closed doors? And, whether you believe the whole, and again, I with this Connor Stallions thing and everything like that, depending on, what you think of it, there's some sketchiness there. And apparently with Moore, I just don't think he was ready even to become a college coach for that instance. So, yeah, they've been dealing with a lot. And, he's it's crazy in itself because he was with Utah for 21 seasons. Winning record, like you said, 177 wins to 88 losses. So, he's a proven good head coach. And, that's what they kind of need. And ever since Harbaugh left, I mean, it's been tough for Michigan to kind of get back to where they were. And with them signing, getting an experienced head coach, and, what's shocking, too, is he's 66. So, he's up there in age, but, hey, if he's got the experience, he's got, he understands the tradition with Michigan as well. So, will they finish with a winning record? I'm going to say yes. And the reason why I say yes is I know that, certain coaches nowadays, it would be tough to kind of turn around kind of this whole culture and whatnot. But, hey, I feel like the culture has already changed because I don't remember the coach's name who took over as interim right now for the Wolverines. But
Jeff P.O.D.
Yeah, and he's done a great job at we're going to make sure this, doesn't happen again. And, we're going to work. They haven't played their bowl game, right? Or have they? I can't remember. We'll have to take a look at that. But I think I'm going to say yes. It's got my stamp of approval. I think they will have a winning record. I'm not going to say they're going to be like college football playoff. They're only going to have 1 loss, 2 losses, even 3. I think they'll probably have a couple, but they're going to get going. And I think he's the right man for the job, especially moving on to Michigan with being at Utah for 21 seasons. I mean, that's impressive in itself. And
right.
That's true loyalty, to be honest with you. So
for sure.
Shouts out to him. Congrats. Yeah, it's got my stamp of approval. I think they will have a winning record for the Wolverines. Just not against the Gophers, but hopefully when that happens.
I want the jug back. I love the little brown jug. We need to have that back in the trophy case at TCF Bank or Huntington Bank Stadium. Excuse me. Goodness,
there you go.
That's how long ago I haven't been watching. I think with Kylewhittingham, I think that's probably the right coach right now for the University of Michigan. Of course, with the hiring cycle that kind of went by and by, I mean, just the way it all kind of really developed, because Whittingham was stepping down at Utah, and then I wasn't sure if it was because of he was taking the Michigan job or if he was just like, I'm stepping down to retire, or maybe somebody reached out after he stepped down. It was just like, hey, you want to be head coach here at Michigan? Yeah, sure, why not? And just looking for a new challenge. But I think with Whittingham's pedigree that he does bring in, a very winning pedigree for sure. Utah's always been kind of that weird semi-good. Are they really good, or are they just kind of flash in the pan kind of team? But definitely well respected for sure, just based off the sheer number of winning seasons that he's had out there, especially after taking over of course a program that did see success with Urban Meyer back in the day for sure. But I think this is probably the right coach that you do have, given what you have, the situation with with the whole athletic department as of right now. Will they have a winning record in 2026? I think so. A few guys have jumped into the portal right now. I mean, there's going to be some guys coming in that may be committed to Utah or committed to Whittingham. They're going to be finding their way to Ann Arbor here for the upcoming season. I think they'll be competitive for sure. I don't know. I'm definitely not going to say college football playoff. I think they'll be at least 7-5. I think they'll be 7-5 this season for sure and get into a bowl game for sure. So it's got my stamp of approval.
Yeah, I just feel like it takes time in college football. But speaking of college football, Voldy, I think Michigan fans will like this. The Miami Hurricanes are up 14-0 at half against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Voldy,
Nice.
What is going on? I think Joe Clements is probably ripping his hair out right about now.
Probably. If there's any furniture that isn't nailed down in his place, it is probably through the window at this point.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Joe. It's just not meant to be, I guess. Well, we'll see. I mean, he's still got game left. I shouldn't say that, but there's plenty of game. They can get back in it. So, all right, next one, Voldy.
Heading to the world of professional baseball. It's not Major League Baseball. Well, World Baseball Classic coming up here in just under 3 months' time, as it will be a huge announcement, at least in bolstering the final spots, the 9 on the field for Team USA, as Philadelphia Phillies star player and first baseman Bryceharper announced that he will be committing to Team USA to play in the World Baseball Classic. Quoted as on his Instagram post saying, "Put the colors on my chest for the first time since I was 15. No other feeling like it. I'm excited to announce I'll be representing Team USA this year in the WBC America #4Glory." Now, Bryceharper does join a stacked Team USA squad on the infield. Bobby Witt Jr., Gunnar Henderson, Bryce Terang. Other teammates do include Kyle Schwarber, Aaron Judge, Corbin Carroll, Pete Crow Armstrong, and catchers Cal Raleigh and Will Smith. Now, that's just the positional players. Now, more and more guys have come out most recently, bolstering the starting rotation and the bullpen. Rotation does include Tarek Skubal, Paul Skeens, Matthew Boyd, Joe Ryan, Logan Webb, Clay Holmes, and Nolan McLean, along with relievers in Bednar, along with Mason Miller and Garrett Whitlock, that have committed to Team USA, all under the tutelage of second-year manager, that being Mark DeRosa, for the squad as well. Of course, the WBC set to take place March 5th through the 17th. Team USA gets their first baseman. Is it absurd or approved? Having Bryceharper in the lineup will be that missing piece for Team USA to win the WBC this go around.
Well, I think it solidifies, how good this team's going to be. That's for sure. Let's start with that. Adding him is more fuel to, them possibly, winning it all. And I think Harper is going to give you his all. I mean, these guys, like you mentioned with Joe Ryan, pitching as well. Who knows if he'll be a Minnesota Twin by the start of the season, but remains to be seen. But we'll see from that perspective. But they got Skeens, they got Harper, like you said, and they're going to be facing a lot of really good teams. And you can't sleep on teams like Cuba, Dominican Republic, and Mexico. I mean, there's a lot of really good teams in this World Baseball Classic, but just solidifying that Bryce Harper will be with Team USA and whatnot is going to do a lot of good things, and I think he is the perfect guy for the gig, and I think he's going to make an impact, and they're going to be in the mix for sure to win it all, and I think they've assembled the Avengers quite well, I will say. So I'll give it my stamp of approval. I think I wouldn't say like the missing piece, but I would say he is a key piece into solidifying them getting the gold for sure. So I'll give it my stamp of approval. Voldy, what do you got?
I think having that lockdown with a guy like Bryceharper over at first base is something that's been kind of a revolving door for the U.S. the last few World Baseball Classics. I mean, they won it back in 2017. Eric Hosmer was their first base, and that's when Eric Hosmer was, tops in the league, of course, defensively, on the field as well with, his bat too. But ever since, in the last few have been kind of a revolving door. I think Paul Goldschmidt was the first baseman last go around. Don't quote me directly on that, but it hasn't been truly solidified. You get a guy like Harper who can hit top four spots in the lineup for sure. You can bat him lead off. You can put him in the second. You could have him in a hit and run situation to the third spot, or you can have him hit cleanup. You could put him at the bottom of the order. That's the beauty of the World Baseball Classic. You'll see some guys hit in some very interesting spots too, but having him, who is still very much new to the first base position the last couple seasons, ever since moving from the outfield and, of course, now to the infield at first base, I think he'll be just fine. He's been an athlete. I mean, everybody remembers him coming up out of high school in the JUCO ranks. He was a catcher and even pitched a little bit in junior college baseball too, but he's still a heck of an athlete for sure. I think with the group that they're in right now, the group that they have at a Group B, it's the U.S., Britain, Brazil, Italy, and Mexico. Don't sleep on the Italians in baseball. They had a couple of decent runs the last few WBCs for sure. But I think the U.S. for sure, having him at first base is probably as locked down as you can get at a certain spot, minus probably Shohei Ohtani at the DH and pitching in the for Team Japan, who is the reigning champion as well in the WBC. But I think having him locked down, I think that'll certainly be a missing, solidifying that missing piece. Still got to get through Japan, still got to get through the Dominican, Puerto Rico, Cuba as well. Always fields a very interesting team too, but I think it's a step in the right direction. But I'm going to go out and say it right now. Team USA brings home the WBC title coming up here 3 months from now.
Book it right now. That's what we got. Bold prediction. I like it. That's good. Bold prediction for ARA for Team USA for the World Baseball Classic. Let's go. All right. Next one, Voldy.
Head to the world of the NFL as the Kansas City Chiefs this past week announced that they will be leaving Arrowhead Stadium, their longtime home, for a $3 billion domed stadium that will be built just across the border of Missouri into Kansas that will be ready to start in 2031. Now, people thinking, that's, 10, 15 years down the road. Well, coming up here in less than 4 hours, 2026 is a thing. So we're looking at 5 years out, and 5 years is going to go like that. A nice Thanos snap for you. So Kansas City is not going to be Kansas City, Missouri for the Chiefs. It's going to be Kansas City, Kansas, believe it or not, as a commitment of $1 billion in additional development, a portion of which that will be helped out through star bonds, basically, for the development of basically like a Chiefs land, if you will, with obviously the stadium, restaurants, team merchandise stores. Basically, you want to take like what Green Bay has with Lambeau and the surrounding sort of little area and make it for the Kansas City Chiefs. That kind of facilitated this move here from Arrowhead to this new stadium that will be coming up. But with Kansas City and the Chiefs moving in 2031, is it absurd or approved? Will the Chiefs be able to bring home more titles in Missouri before they move to Kansas in 5 years' time?
You got a really good point. I mean, that's not super far away, but it's not that far away, I will say. Mm-hmm. If you go based off of what happened this past season, I think everyone would say right about now that the dynasty is dead and this might be a rebuild deal going forward. The question is Andy Reid just going to be done? Is he going to want to go through this whole thing with the Chiefs and help out and get them to where they were? I think you factor that in, and then you have to factor in, Kelsey's not going to be there when they have that new stadium. Mm-hmm. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, Patrick Mahomes that's a different deal. But, I mean, obviously Mahomes is the franchise. You want to make sure that you keep him happy. He will probably play in that stadium. But the thing that we have to remember, too, is that, it's going to take time before they're back to what they were. I don't think they figure it out over one season. I think it might take multiple. So let's do some thinking here. So 2026, 2027, maybe around like 2028, they could maybe start figuring it out and going from there. And possibly win one while still in Missouri. But I'm going to go out on a limb, Voldy, and I'm going to say no. I don't think they will win more titles in Missouri before moving to Kansas. I think it's absurd. Because I'm going to go with a bold prediction. Because, again, you can't fix this overnight. This team was built as a juggernaut for years to come. And, yeah, they had to trade, Tyreek. And, they had some, issues with Kareem Hunt when he first started. And, obviously, they released him and then they bring him back and everything like that. But this team has found ways to win, but the issue is that teams have caught up to Kansas City now. And I think the Broncos have given them a lot of trouble these past few. You look at the Chargers, they're getting better. The Raiders, we don't really need to talk about them. They're not very good anyway, so don't need to worry there. But I just think that they're going to really struggle getting back. They got to make some moves, and I think this is going to really test their general manager and his team this offseason to try and bring it back in the right direction. So, I think it's absurd. I don't think they're going to win more titles in Missouri, and I probably regret it like 2 years from now when they're back in again. Yeah. But I don't know. The times, they are a-changing. As a famous man once said. So, I think it's absurd. Foldy, what do you think?
I mean, we look at where the Chiefs are going to be in 5 years. I would not be surprised. No Andy Reid, no Travis Kelce, no Chris Jones. I think a completely different looking team as a whole. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is definitely going to be in the back end of his career for sure, especially now with the knee surgery and the ACL repair. I think in 5 years' time, and I hate to say it, just with the overall team that they've had, and of course that the pieces that they continue to add, if they just shore up a couple of things, maybe get a much more steady running back, you get maybe one more solid receiver as well, because they do have Rashee Rice, they do have James Worthy, or not James Worthy, goodness gracious, Xavier Worthy as well. Xavier Worthy, and you get maybe one other guy that can certainly take some reps for sure, and maybe returning Tyreek Hill, just foreshadowing there, maybe, hopefully. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas City finds at least one more before moving to Kansas. I think the thing that they need, Kansas City, and you look at it as a whole, with them missing the playoffs, this is probably going to be the best thing for them, because they've played in the span of 7 straight AFC championship games. You look at that, they've basically played a whole nother season to season and a half in that stretch, compared to some teams that have played just the regular, 17, 18-week schedule. That's a lot of wear and tear. That's a lot of football. That's a lot of hits, a lot of tackles, a lot of preparation. Just a full off season for them to rest and recuperate is probably going to be the best thing for them. And I would not be surprised they find a way to maybe sneak a couple of draft picks here and find a couple of guys through the draft, maybe lure a couple of guys through free agency. And they not only retool, they find a way to remaster their overall organization on product on the field. I would definitely not be surprised they find themselves in serious contention coming up next season. Now that's if and when Mahomes is 100% ready to go with that knee that could be ready. I say that they find at least one more title before moving to Kansas in 2031.
There you go. And I think it's just they found ways, and maybe they will again. I mean, it's very possible. So when you got Mahomes, anything's possible at this point. So, all right, last one, Ovaldi.
Well, the announcement of the finalists for the 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame have been announced and do include a number of notable names. Of course, from the modern ballot, 4 names that headline do include quarterback Drew Brees, wide receiver and Minnesota native, that being Larry Fitzgerald, tight end Jason Witten, and running back Frank Gore, of the 2 other first-year eligible players that are among the 15 finalists. Now, others do include in advancing into the class of 2026 through the finalists do include Willie Anderson, Torrey Holt, Luke Kuechly, and even Adam Vinatieri. Others have included Eli Manning, Reggie Wayne, Jari Evans, Marshall Yonda, Terrell Suggs, Daryl Woodson, and of course, Minnesota Vikings longtime defensive tackle in his final or at least for the 6th year of eligibility, first time in the finalist stage, Kevin Williams has made the finalist ballot after a little bit of a rouse of support after last year's Hall of Fame induction from former teammate and on the D-line, that being Jared Allen, who made the Hall of Fame last season. Now, of these notable names that we do throughout there, usually a contingent of 5, 6, maybe 7 guys that go into the Hall of Fame of the year. Who makes the Hall of Fame class for the class of 2026 out of this finalist group?
Well, I hate to do this because I have this thing against Aints fans and Aints players and everything like that. But look, I have to admit, and this is something that I can't deny, but at the same time, you just gotta accept is, Drew Brees I think is gonna go for sure. The records he broke and how good he was with the Aints. And no, I know he wasn't part of the Bounty Gate and everything like that. And he said some things that I haven't really liked. People love him and everything like that. I don't really care either way for him, but I think he is first ballot. It's that simple. Larry Legend, Larry Fitzgerald, absolutely. The amount of games that he played and just with class and he was one of the hardest workers on the field and everything like that. I wish he would have won a Super Bowl with the Cards against the Steelers that year, but it wasn't meant to be, unfortunately. I think Larry, Frank Gore, I think is one that needs to get in there as well. Torrey Holt, yes, I think he's not a first year. He's definitely been in a couple. Right?
No, he's been on for a while. I think this is probably 7 or 8 years minimum, probably even 10 on the ballot for him. He's been on there a long time.
Yeah, that is a long time. He should. He should. I mean, he was on The Greatest Show on Turf and everything like that.
Yeah, that's how long he's been. That's how long ago his major years were. He was on The Greatest Show on Turf.
Yeah, and Kuechly, I think you got to give a couple more years. He was really good. Don't get me wrong. I think he's deserving, but I just don't think it's the right time. Eli, there's a lot of controversy surrounding that. I don't think he'll go in. Terrell Suggs, I think, needs to get in. He was a monster. Adam Vinatieri for sure. Yeah. And then Reggie Wayne, I think, has been on here for a while, too. I think Reggie needs to get in there, too. Especially with him and Marvin Harrison together. And who was the other guy? Well, maybe it was Stokely for a little bit.
Stokely? Yeah.
Yeah. And who was the other one? Who'd you say before?
Dallas Clark, tight end.
Dallas Clark, tight end, yes. Yeah. Yep. That offense was amazing. I know I'm going to go homer on this, but honestly, Kevin Williams needs to be in this. He was part of the Williams Wall. No team, and I repeat, no team could have run on the Vikings those couple years. And guess who was the coordinator?
It was like 5-6 years. We had like the at least top 3 run defense in the NFL.
Right. And guess who was the D coordinator in 2000? Not the, when we went to NFC Championship game, but the year before that. Mike Tomlin. Yes, Mike Tomlin was D coordinator for a little bit. Obviously, Ben Lieber, Pat Williams, Chad Greenway, E.J. Henderson. I mean, the list goes on. But Kevin Williams was one of those guys that just would wreck a game, would be able to, stop your running back in his tracks if you try to run up the middle. He would get sacks like no other two. I think he had a fumble for a touchdown. I'll never forget. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame, and I think he will. Jason Witten, yes, I think he's one of the best tight ends the Cowboys have had in a long time. Darren Woodson, I think, is deserving, and Marshall Yanda. So there's, I don't know. It's going to be a balancing act, because how many do they put in? Do we remember?
So the current format that they do have, a 50-person selection committee will vote on the 15 finalists. It's 3 and 5 that they let in. And then there's also 1 to 3 finalists that take place between the senior candidates, a coaching candidate, and a contributor. So anywhere between, in total, it could be anywhere between 4 to 8 guys could make it into the Hall of Fame. That's including the senior candidates and coaching contributor candidates as well.
The other two that I didn't mention, and I should have, Willie Anderson, I think, deserves to be in. Jari Evans was a great offensive guard for the Aints, unfortunately. But he was a hell of a player, too. So I think a lot of them are deserving. I just think you got to wait on some of these other guys. So give it to Kevin Williams. Please. Definitely. Please give it to Kevin Williams. Foldy, what do you got?
I know that we're at a point here with life itself and, of course, getting guys in the Hall of Fame. For some reason, one of the taboo positions still continues to be kickers, with what we've seen over the years. I mean, even all the way up until Devin Hester got into the Hall of Fame, a guy that really didn't have a position. He was just a return man. He got a lot of but he didn't really play football. He was just a gadget return guy, wasn't a receiver or a D-back or anything, but he kind of opened the door for things like that. Adam Vinatieri, the fact that it's taken him this long to get in the Hall of Fame is a crime within itself. Multi-time Super Bowl champion with 2 of the most elite franchises in the NFL, of course, with the Colts and the Patriots, as clutch of a kicker as he can be, winning Super Bowls off his leg. Some of the greatest games in NFL history have come off of his leg with game-winning or game-tying field goals on top of it. He's got my vote for sure. Other guys on the list, Larry Fitzgerald, quietly being one of the greatest receivers of all time, as many seasons as he did have drops. And, of course, he played double-digit seasons and only had maybe less than a handful of drops in his entire career. Of course, with him playing in Arizona, didn't really have the major spotlight with it. Of course, that one Super Bowl appearance, but still as productive as a guy could be with his time. Kevin Williams, I think, definitely deserves a shot just based off of what he did in his time, not only in Minnesota, but of course he did play that small spell in Seattle where he was an effective player in the back end of his career, and getting that vote of confidence from his former teammate and maybe some other guys that definitely have a lot of respect on that D-line for him is definitely going to be the right spot for him. But looking at the rest of the list, if I had to throw one other guy on the list to be a potential guy to get in this year, I would definitely say Darren Woodson. I think Woodson was definitely one of those guys that, maybe not, definitely a fearsome name in his time, but definitely threw a lot of guys in a blender, especially defensively, because he was a dog out on the field and definitely let his presence be known for sure. But then you look at how the senior candidates and, of course, the other guys on the list, coach contributor, this is a tough crowd. The senior candidates include Kenny Anderson, Roger Craig, and Elsie Greenwood. Coaching candidate, some guy by the name of Bill Belichick, and, of course, contributor and current owner of the New England Patriots, Robert Kraft. So there's going to be a short list and yet a long list of guys that'll be whittled down from the finalists to those being inducted in the class of 2026, but all very deserved in their time. And I hope a guy like Terrell Suggs definitely gets his call for sure. I mean, definitely was a fearsome defensive. Yeah, T-Sizzle out of Also Hard University. I mean, I hope he gives them their proper shout out if he does get the gold jacket in Canton from the Ravens. Did end up winning a Super Bowl with the Chiefs at the end of his career too. Definitely a guy that definitely needs to be putting on a gold jacket before it's all said and done.
Yeah, and Kevin Williams went through the thick of a lot of teams, and he was one of the greatest Vikings, I feel like, on defensive side as well. Probably another one coming here soon as well. But I don't want to say it might not happen this year again. It might not happen because he might be back. Just saying. We'll see. But I hope Kevin Williams gets in. I really hope that he gets in this year. But if not, he still has plenty of other chances, and I think he will eventually. I think we had to wait with Jared Allen, if I'm not mistaken, right?
We had to wait a while, like 4 or 5 years, I think it was.
Ugh. But, yeah, he should have been in earlier. But, again, this is a popularity contest sometimes, too.
Yep.
So, all right, that'll do it for Area A this week. Great job, as always, Voldy. We got a big smattering of Shield shoutouts tonight. A lot to get to since we were off last week, so I say we get it going with some Shield shoutouts.
Shield shoutouts.
All right, Shield, who ya shouting out tonight?
Well, of course, we do have to send a word of safety and thanks for another year around the sun, if you will, and a happy and safe Happy New Year to all the zoners out there, whether you choose to celebrate accordingly, whether at home or out with friends and family. Hopefully you all have a safe and happy New Year. Do have to say a Shield shout out to Lumberjacks assistant coach and fellow Smiles for Jake softball team member Mikey Lawrence, who had an awesome Lumberjack Secret Santa gift. He had me this year and included a Jared Allen Pop Funko figurine, which I don't have on me, but I have over on top of my dresser. New pink and blue batting gloves and a pink and blue bat wrap for softball season just right around the corner. So that's going to be coming up. Can't wait to break those bad boys in. So shout out to Mikey for getting me set up just right. And a Shield shout out to creative consultant Mrs. Sarah Ann Toosvold for a solid stocking stuffer gift from Christmas. Of course, I've been rocking them all night. Got some new slippers, and it is hard to find slippers that fit my ginormous feet, and somehow she found a pair that fit just right for me, and I've been wearing them ever since. Do have to send a Shield shout out to friend of the show, Alex Koopminers, was inducted this past week to the Skating Wall of Fame at the Mac Arena here in St. Cloud after a prolific hockey career that started at that same facility and came to an end this past year. Over 30 years of tying them up from, of course, youth to high school to college, of course, going pro as well. His brief stint with the Granite City Lumberjacks as well. Shout out to Coop for, of course, getting that highly illustrious career that finished off with such an incredible honor. And we do have to say best of luck in retirement to former Major League pitcher for the Red Sox and for the, of course, a few other teams. Played for the Dodgers, played for the Cardinals, and, of course, the White Sox too. Two-time World Series champion, notorious Astros hater Joe Kelly, who captured titles with the Red Sox and the Dodgers. Time is now to hang them up, and he retires as well. So that is going to do it for Shield shoutouts this week.
You gotta love it. Congratulations to Joe Kelly, Coop, and obviously our creative consultant getting you those awesome slippers, and Mikey Lawrence for doing the Secret Santa gifts. He is, he's doing it right because I know the Lions have been tough on him. They've been really tough on him. So We feel for him. Anyway, great job with Shield Shoutouts as always. Voldy,
Thank you.
You guys know the deal. Congratulations to Zach Huntley for winning the fantasy football, Minnesota Fantasy Football. Second annual. We'll hopefully, and again, we'll probably do it next year, and we'll check with people and make sure if they still want to do it. If we have open spots, we will let you know for sure. So, got that. And remember, it's the last week of Pick'em. Get those picks in. I will be doing that probably right after this show, to be quite honest. I know I probably won't get into the mix, but I'm still going to do it because I enjoy doing it. Stuffage is leading the way. He's got 1,700. He's hanging on by a thread because RJ is not far behind either. So it's going to come down to the wire. Voldy could sneak in too. You never know. This is going to be a race to the finish here, a photo finish, if you will. So we will keep you up to date on that. Get those picks in, and if you guys are like, there's some new stuff that we got. I know we got the colored MINNEZONA hats. Vikings, the Wild, the who am I missing? Oh my goodness, the Gophers as well.
Yep.
Voldy, I think there's some more coming our way. What do you got?
Yeah, if I had an available hand to get them
crap.
free.
Okay,
or whatever,
well,
but no,
you'll take our word for it.
Yep, there's pictures out there. If anything, we'll get that out to you here, of course. So we do have a new Vikings colorway to go along with it. We've got T-Wolves, we've got Twins, and of course we do have University of North Dakota colors as well, with some new beanies on top of it as well. So definitely want to get those checked out for sure. Get them while we've got them, because they ain't going to be around for too much longer.
That is correct. So make sure you get those. And if you're like, screw it, I just want to help out the guys. We got, those hats are $20, $5 shipping. Guys, we got the sweatpants. Those have been flying off the shelves a little bit. And we got the quarter zips. We have the winter caps as well, the OG ones, the red ones, obviously. And then we got the tumblers as well. We got that. We got maybe a couple shirts left, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, we got plenty of stuff that you guys are interested. Got the OG hats as well, so we'll keep you. We got those as well, 5-year hats. Can't forget those. Hunting caps, too. So make sure you check out all of our merch when you are looking for new Minnesota gear. So, all right. Thank you to National Fleet Graphics, Tyler Knut, or Crown Rental Tyler Knutson for the stickers as well. And thank you to our guy, W2 Performance, Will Rattel. He is doing awesome things. Check him out at w2performance.com. And make sure you check out the Brotherly Ballers podcast as well. Tyler Hermann, Jack Vickers. Check out our guy, Troy Stoudemire Jr., TLS Performance. And the Popcorn Bucket List, Nick Dahlhoff and Ryne, Rhino, Myhrberg as well. Omni Entertainment. They're on YouTube and the socials. Make sure you check them out as well. So, that's going to do it for episode 266. Go Vikings, Skull Vikings, go Wolves, go Wild. They're on a... I know they lost today, but it was in a shootout. They got a point. That's all we care about. Wolves struggled against Atlanta, but they're still playing well as well. So, skull to all of them and all the teams and whatnot. We'll keep you up to date and look out on the socials medias. Get those picks in. Get the picks in. You can win the Minnesota bundle, which we will determine here in a second. So, without further ado, as always, remember, folks, keep in the zone.
Holla.
Thank you for watching Minnesota Sports Live. Join us Wednesdays at 7 p.m. for live show broadcast. And as Voldy likes to say, follow us on all the socials medias.